Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't even got going. And Nikki and Pumi and Clarissa, can you guys see those thumbs up and hearts and claps that are coming through there? Thanks, guys. This is great. Folks, I'm not going to say too much today. I'm going to be handing over to Nikki literally in a couple of seconds. I just want to share with you all the certificates that went out yesterday, and I got quite a few replies. Now, I can't share all the replies with you. I've just chosen a couple. I've just seen there's a bit of a typo in that first one there, Conrad. Don't worry, you can call me whatever you like. Thank you. Awesome service and a great program. Angie, thank you for the certificate. Their presentation was so enjoyable. Loved all the coffee references and the humor. Say hi to Mr. Coffee for us. Thanks, Angie. And then Sukumi and Pumilelo and Nikki make the system come alive in an amazing way. Awesome. I appreciate the certificate. Laurie writes, thank you for sending the certificate. Yes, I loved the Zoom presentation yesterday. Please say a big thank you to Pumilelo and Nicole. And then Deviksha, compliments of the new year, wishing every success and continued growth in the year ahead. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon further. Such lovely emails. You know, it's just a pleasure to send them out. Bonita said, thank you for the presentation. And then maybe just two more. Kenneth, the two presenters were awesome. Looking forward to tomorrow's one. And then the last one is from Christelle. Absolutely loved the presentation. I'm very grateful. It was very productive and a thumbs up. Have a prosperous 2026. So there we go. I just wanted to share that with the team. Just a big thank you, guys. You're on the right track. Keep up the good work. Well done. And then, of course, to you guys out there, we wouldn't be doing it at all if it wasn't for you. Thank you for attending these sessions, first of all, and just for being awesome. You're actually spurring us on to try even harder. And I think on that note, Nikki, can I ask you to take the screen share?
Thanks, Shane. And also just a quick thank you to everyone for all that love and the feedback. But let's get this started. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our webinar series extraordinaire. So welcome to all the participants. Thank you for once again taking time out of your very busy schedules to join us today. We truly value your time. So for any new participants joining us today, please know we have done a recording for Tuesday's session. So even those that had to skip out on Thursday or on Tuesday late, we have got the recording so you can catch it up. Once the basics as well as the advanced sessions have been edited, they are going to be available on our YouTube channel very, very soon. And we will advise you once that's up and running. If you are wanting to know where to find that channel, please, or to keep up to date with any tips and tricks that we do release along the way of the year, you are able to follow us on any of our social media accounts on the screen that is currently being shared. Also, keep in mind, we do have that little Twitter feed that will also let you know when we have any nifty nuggets we've released. We'd just like to thank everyone once again for all your support and your feature suggestions. You are what drives us to being a better and innovative company, to improving your Draftworx experience with us. Man, does this excitement not continue? It is such an honor to be able to do these webinars for you guys, but also between you and me, today is an absolutely smashing day. Why? Well, because Friday is on its way. So can I get a whoop, whoop? Yeah. All right. Thanks for me. I am joined once again today by my fellow gurus. I have Clarissa, who's an absolute champion when it comes to those Q&As, as well as my fellow brewmaster, Pumi. Pumi, thank you so much for the amazing job you did with me on Tuesday. I have been reviewing those financials. We're going to go through them. It's just been awesome. In today's advanced session, we are going to pick up from where we left off on Tuesday by covering those more complex features, as well as possible scenarios I may encounter in the real world. We'll most certainly be highlighting some of our nifty tips and tricks along the way, ensuring we make this process as smooth as possible for you. I know on Tuesday, we did tease you quite a bit in terms of some key features our dynamic developers have been working on and continue to work on. And I'm way too excited to show these today. They are a serious game changer. Now, in case anyone missed out on Tuesday, let me just catch you up to where we are. As it happens, especially around this time of the year, being January, we had our client contact us urgently on Tuesday in a panic. They desperately need their financials today. So I had some other deadlines to do, but for me, with his amazing skills and the help of Draftworx, we were able to get up a simple set of financials for me to review and we just need to finalize a few client-specific requests. Pumi did a beautiful job, and I'm in the process of reviewing them to see if we've met the client requests. So without further ado, let's go full steam ahead and dive into this session. Just going to get the right screen and close my video.
Well, I'm glad Nikki's taking the reins today. It gives me a chance to do what only Draftworx allows me to do, and that's have my cake and eat it too.
Thanks, Pumi. I will be jealously watching you chow that cake. Okay, before we dive in, unfortunately, as with most things in life, we do have a little bit of admin to get out the way. So on that note, let's get it out the way, guys. On Tuesday, we did explain where we can store our information. And as luck had it, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty where I was not able to view Pumi's file. So let's try and solve that solution. Alrighty, in your logo, we're just going to cover those settings again. Now, in terms of where I can keep my information, you have your profile settings. You'll be able to see that, yes, the clients folder was my local. It's stored on my computer. No one else can view it, like I wasn't able to see Pumi's file, okay? However, if I want to have access to what Pumi had, I would need a server. Now, I've gone and set up a server, so I will just go click on the 3 dots. A tip of the day, they're called ellipses. If anyone wanted a nugget, there's a little bit of a nugget. I am now going to go find where I want to store those files on my server, and I'm just simply going to select that path. As mentioned, we do have the archived clients, great for, client management in the sense of all your prior year files you can archive, also great for audit firms. So also 3 dots, let me set up that location before we really dive in. So I'll just go select my path. And if anyone missed Tuesday, the templates folder, I'm keeping blank because I want to make sure that my template is up to date with what Draftworx is doing behind the scenes. So there, my settings are sorted. Now, as we mentioned, there is my local. Now I have files that I can access on a server. And of course, we did mention our dear friend WebSync. Okay, as mentioned on Tuesday, we do just want to highlight something really important around WebSync. Currently, we are not charging for this service. We did open WebSync during the COVID times to assist our clients with that really difficult time and enabling them to work remotely. We have been absorbing that cost as much as possible. We are, however, going to be extending the features that are tied into WebSync, such as permissions and a few other tips and tricks in it, as well as moving to a better infrastructure to improve the service and security. This is going to impact costing to an extent that it cannot be fully absorbed anymore. We know WebSync is loved and used, so we are going to limit the impact as much as possible, including a free tier that will facilitate your your work in progress. So if you chose not to take full use of the WebSync, your work in progress will still be taken care of at no additional cost, and once completed, can then be moved off to your cold storage. We will most definitely give you advance notice before any of these changes are implemented and would never surprise you with a sudden bill. We will communicate as soon as we have an ETA. Now, WebSync. Keep talking about it. What is it going to do for me? Well, let's see. You'll see that I've got WebSync clients. Now, it is a cloud storage, so I'm going to go to my WebSync. It is asking me for a WebSync login. These are specific to my WebSync profile. I have my firm code, okay? I have my email address and then password. Nice part is you are able to set up that password yourself and you will have sole access to your WebSync profile. Let us log in. So now I have logged into my WebSync clients. So you can see, I actually did have some files on my WebSync. Great. Going to dive into these a little bit of detail, but I want to highlight a new feature alert when it comes to WebSync. So previously to this upgrade, when I needed to archive my WebSync files, I had to do a process by transferring them to either the local or server and then proceeding with this archive function. Now, I can see that in my menu, in my WebSync, I see WebSync archived clients. What is that about? Go click on it, and I see I'm not allowed to do something. So it is telling me I need a manager login. So I'm going to log in. Now, this login function enables your manager and your partner to log in to give them certain permissions to accessing stuff, such as this, or marking a working paper as reviewed by manager or reviewed by partner. So let me log in. I'm actually going to log in as my partner. All right. Now, when I've logged in, I see a few more little options that have popped up. So one I just want to highlight is the backups. I know that at least my WebSync file is maintaining some backups for me. All right. So if I need to restore a backup for whatever reason, I can be rest assured I do have one. However, let's have a look at our new feature. I want to archive one of these files. I need to, it's an audit file. I have to in terms of compliance. So what am I going to do? In my actions, I see that I am able to archive client. So let me do that. All right. I get a little bit of a confirm button. We want to make sure you are certain about this because it does remove it from your active client list and stores it in your archive clients. Again, we want to make double sure you want to do this. So yes, I am. Right. Now it's jumped me to a new screen. What is this? I can now see that I am in my WebSync archive clients. There's my Cookie Monster files. I see. I forgot I'd archived them previously. So now you can see that I've got my files. They are indicating that they are archived. I can be rest assured they are here. Please note that I can go and restore an archive client. Again, it is going to ask me, am I sure? Because we don't want to mess with any compliance in terms of this should not be unarchived. So it is required to do so with a password. So just be careful of that. Right. Now I keep talking about transferring. So I am going to cover that in a second. I just want to go through the rest of these menu options before we talk about transfers. So what does combined client list do for me? Well, let's go and see what it's going to do. I can now see all the clients that I have on my list, and I can see where they are stored. Now, I have a little bit of a ditzy brain now and then, and I might forget where I put something, like my Cookie Monster file. So what I can go and notice is, here is my local clients, here are my server clients, my WebSync, and my archived. All my files, I now know where to view them. If you see a lock, it indicates it is a locked file. And if you notice here with my last file, I have WebSync transferred to local. I can see that it is locked on my WebSync profile, but it is active in my local client. All right, we are going to cover all of those in a moment. I did have a question on Tuesday. Well, I have a very long client list. I'd like to sort it. Yes, alphabetically works, but I'd like an additional sort. So the grouped clients button, if you select it, it is going to group all the clients with the same name. It's not quite visual on here. Let me do my local where I have multiple. So grouped clients, I can now go and see client name and all the files pertaining to that client. So I have got the option to sort it like that. Okay, next button, transfer. what can I do with the transfer? So you will see that you are able to book into a server, you are able to book into WebSync if you are in your local. This simply means that I'm going to transfer one of my local files to that other storage. So I am going to go and, let's see, take my server client, and I'm going to go move it to my server clients. See, I haven't got it here. Oh, I do. It's actually locked. Why is it locked? Well, I had been working on server client 1 on my server. The weekend came and I desperately needed to finish these files. I didn't feel like going into the office. I wanted to work from home. So I transferred it to my local. It is now Monday morning and I want to transfer it back. So the question here is, well, why did it lock when we transferred? We want to make sure that when it is moved from one location to the other, I don't have 2 active files. So in other words, I don't have Pumi working on server client 1 on the server, doing so much work, and then I come along Monday morning, return my file, and I overwrite all of his information, hence the lock. Okay, so in my local clients, I'm going to return my file. So I select it, I go to transfer, and I'm going to book it into server. It is going to let me know that there is already one that exists. Would you like to overwrite it? So I just need to make sure I am 100% confident I'm not overwriting anything incorrectly. And I'm simply going to say overwrite. Now you'll see my server client, there's no more lock, which means it is now the active master file. If I go to local, you will see that the server client is now locked on local. Right. The same can happen with your WebSync. So you are able to transfer to server, to WebSync, or from WebSync to server. It is available for that option. Okay. There was another little transfer icon I saw. What is this? Download from Draftworx Cloud. Now, we do have 2 different types of software here. We've got the desktop as well as our cloud software. Now, if you are by any chance interested in Draftworx Cloud, please know we are hosting the webinars next week. So if we've piqued your interest and you want to know a little bit more about it, or you're using both because that is possible, please join in for next week's webinar. Now, what does download from Draftworx Cloud let me do? Well, we are obviously compatible with ourselves. So in the event that I have my cloud profile and the Mochaccino Pty Limited, I actually need to do that on desktop for whatever that reason is. How am I going to get that file without having to redo the whole process of creating the file, adding the trial balances in, that whole long spiel? Surely there's a quick way. Well, there is. I'm going to go transfer and I'm going to tell it to download from Draftworx Cloud. It is going to ask me for my cloud login. So let me just quickly log in there, hopefully with the right password. Okay. If I am registered for more than one practice, I will just need to make sure I select the correct one. So I want to do my Draftworx one. Now you'll see I get added an extra little tab there, and it's called Cloud Clients. So you can see, I can see the ABC, the Draftworx, and my Mochaccino. So now which one did we want to move down? My Mochaccino. So I select Mochaccino. I go to my transfer button, and what do I want to do? Well, I want to download it to my local. Am I sure? Yes, I am. Let me go copy him in. Okay, so I'm going to pull that information in from cloud. You'll see now I have my Mochaccino file in my Draftworx. I can work from it. If I happen to go into it quickly, you will see that I have got my trial balance. There, I have got my financials set up. So it's pulled in everything as I intended it to. I now don't have to redo any of that work. Okay, just going to jump back to my client list.
Hey, Nikki,
Yo,
how would I
what's up?
delete a client file? This is a question from Mabato, just asking, how would I delete a client file?
Sure, 1 second. So in my server clients, I'm going to just delete one that I'm not using. I am going to go to the client. I will select it. Now, when I say select, you want to see that it's highlighted blue, okay? And on your keyboard, there is a lovely little button called delete. You're going to hit the delete button. It is going to ask me, are you sure? And of course, here you want to be sure, because once it's deleted, it will be removed from that file. Okay, so I'm going to go confirm. Yes, I no longer need this file. It was an accident, whatever the reason may have been, and I delete. I now no longer have that file or access to it. Are we good? Everyone happy?
Happy with that. Thank you, Nikki.
Fantastic. Okay, let's just jump back to the local. So there you saw we can delete a file, but what happens if you want to copy a file or make a backup of a file to share to someone or something in that respect? How am I going to do that? Right, so I will go and select a file. Let me just make sure it's an active one. And again, that actions button. You can see that you can create a client copy. When you create a client copy, it is literally going to be an identical replica of the file you are copying. So create client copy, I can then go and name it. We'll just call it copy for now so I can recognize it and say copy client. You will now see I have access to that file. But what happens if I don't want to do a copy? Let's say, put me worst case scenario, our internet is really down. So we can't, share the file, we can't access something. So we're on our locals, but I want you to have a copy of the file I am on. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go to actions and I'm going to do what I call a create client backup. Now I'm able to go and store it wherever. I'm just going to save it on my desktop for ease, and it'll create a backup. And there I will then have access to my backup. Now, great. How do I get it back into the system? Well, actions, restore client backup. I will go and find that file. Let's just go and see where it is. So you'll see there, I have my 2025 subsidiary 2, and it's indicating it is a backup file. I will open it. I can then go and keep it named as backup, or again, rename it to something that you need it to be named. Please note the character limit. Restore backup. I now have that backup available. Okay. Now we've seen these locks. Now we know that the lock also indicates when I have transferred a file from a location to a different location. But what happens if I actually want to lock a specific file without transferring it somewhere? How am I going to do that? So actually with this backup file, let's do that. You'll see over here, I have an access. I have various options. I can enable read only. Now, if you enable read only, it is going to ask you for a password. So I'm going to add that one in. It is again going to say, are you sure? Well, yes, because if I do this, people are able to access the file, but cannot edit anything. So then I will enable my read only. So normally I'd mark my access for the prior file as, say, read only, so that guys are able to look at it, but making sure they can't go and edit it in any way. How do I know it's a read only? I've got the eye watching me. But it's not Big Brother, it's just Draftworx. Awesome. What about the locking part though? Now, in Access, you can see that there's a lock client option. Now, if I say lock client, I can set it as locked. So what is the difference? Okay. Also, you are able to assign a password to this lock. So maybe I don't want anyone to access it. I can set up a password, but please note, if you set up the password and you forget it, it does cause a problem because we won't know what that password is. However, you are able to go and set a tier to it. I'm going to keep mine at manager. Okay, I've locked it. I'm still logged in as manager, so it was able to set that up. All right, I'm going to log out so we can see the effect of read only and locking. So if I try and open the read only, as I said, it will let me go in, but I will not be allowed to edit anything. So you can see all I'm able to do is preview. All right, let's have a look at the effect of the locked file. Which one did we lock? Oh, no, not that one. Our subsidiary. So I'm going to try and access the subsidiary. Aha. No, I can't. I need an unlock password. So you can see it even tells me, hey, NE went and locked this on this date. Please supply the manager password to unlock it. Therefore, access denied. All righty. Now, I have another alert, and I really like it. So obviously in the real world, we do have a lot of reports that go with our files that we may want to pull from the file. Now, I've got 22 clients, and that is min compared to what most of you may have. So I want a way to actually pull specific reports for all my clients in one go. How am I going to do that? All right. So in the reports option, I can see a whole lot of lists here, but I'm not seeing what I need. So I need to log in again. So I'm just going to log in as the partner. Right. Let's have a look at my reports options. Some more buttons. I sound like Didi. What does this button do? Okay, well, what does this button do? In my bulk reports, I can go and say client reports. You will see that it lists all my clients. So I'm going to go and select a few clients, okay, randomly. I have got an output folder. So you will set up a folder as to where you want these reports to go. So I've done that. Again, I'll do all 3 dots, the ellipsis, and I'm simply going to say next. Now, what reports would I like to? So here is the list of the reports. I'll be able to go and select them. So I'll go with this one, let's say this one, and I want to see file access. All right. I am going to export them as separate files, and I'm going to save them as a folder per customer. Let's run those reports for me, and you'll see it asks me, are you sure to run? You want to run these 9 reports? Yes. So in my folder, I am now able to go and view said access report. This will be available for all of those clients that I've gone and bulk exported. Okay. Let me see. Now what's next to show you? Okay, let's see. I'm still logged in. So if you see, sorry, Pumi, did you have a question?
Yeah, you're showing me these firm settings and profiles, but mine are grayed out. What's going on?
These ones?
Yes. Those top 3 are grayed out on my side. Is my Draftworx broken?
Well, oh no, definitely not. This, if actually, can you give me a drum roll, please? Fabulous. Sorry, guys. This is one of the awesome features that our devs have been working super hard on. I do just want to give you a little bit of a notice. As Kumi mentioned out, his is not broken. This is just because it is not fully active yet. I had to ask for some very special favors to get this up and running so that I could show you what's to come this year. Now, what are firm profiles? Okay, firm profiles are going to enable me a function where I can set specific profiles with specific permissions. So you'll see I have some setup. I can have default, I can have Nicole, I can have super manager. What these profiles do is there are features that are in the application that everyone has access to and can do. But I may want to restrict certain access. As an example, Nicole is very terrible at, editing the trial balance, and I don't want her to break it. So I'm going to maybe restrict that access. Or actually, there's a document that Pumi is not allowed to view in the financial statements. Okay, and I want to make sure that he can still work on my file, but not see this. For example, it could be an annexure or a confidential sheet where I've got all the executive salaries and Pumi is not allowed to see that. So I will go and tell him he's not allowed to see this particular document called confidential. All right, so I've got my super manager, I've got my webinar, and you can see no editing allowed. Great. Let me hop into those files. Just want to quickly open them. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Okay, so if you have a look here, I am in my super. So super, if we can remember, was allowed to do anything except for viewing a confidential. So super can go and enter, correct my trial balance, whatever the case may be. However, super was not allowed to view a sheet called confidential. So if you have a look here, I've got notes 2 all the way to tax calc. If I check the icon next to my license, you will see what user permissions I have. I'm on super manager. Great. Let's switch it up and see that webinar profile. Okay, so here's the trial balance. Here's the kicker. We said Nicole's naughty. I am. I'm going to just clear this trial balance. So I'm going to delete my trial balance because I'm not happy with it. I'm getting told no. Why am I getting told no? I don't like no. I like yes. So I read and it says, nope, I need a login. That's okay. I've got a login. I'm going to log in. Okay. Going to log in as a partner. And I'm going to delete. What? I'm still not allowed. And that's simply because their permission's blocking me. But let's have a look at what I can see in the financial. So I was allowed to see the confidential, but I'm not allowed to edit the trial balance. Right. So here's my confidential sheet. Super was not allowed to see that. Okay. So that is what is coming, guys. We will be announcing it on a more official basis, and we will be providing a more detailed breakdown of the who, the what, the how, and the where. Right. On that note, while we're on a roll, I really like that drum roll, by the way. Let me dive into another new feature. Our other new feature is what we call checklists. Okay, game changer, guys. Because again, as I've said, I am really terrible at admin. Okay, I think I used to give my audit managers gray hairs because I never used to do a checklist. Right. Now, again, thank you to our developers for this lovely feature, but have a look and see what it does. Now, where's the checklist she's talking about? I don't see anything to do with checklists. Again, admin, need to set it up. So in your logo, I need to be logged in to do this. So I'm going to log in. Right. Logo. What did we say? We're looking for a setup. Ooh, checklist. What does this button do? Okay, checklist. I am now going to set up a to-do list for my firm. So I need to give it a name. Rules. Okay. From that coffee rules checklist, I now need to give it some steps. So I'm going to give it a bit of an order. You can have numbers, you can have 1, 2, 3, 100, 300, however it goes. The order is important because, again, I'm terrible at admin. I might have missed a step, and I actually want it to be the second step. So by keeping the numbers in that order, it will make sure my checklist follows a sequence. So got a number, I'm going to give it an action or a name. So what are we going to call this checklist? So copy rules. Did we put the kettle on? And I'm not typing. That's great. Put the kettle on. I then get options. What are my options? Well, these are the actions to this specific task. So I can indicate whether they are completed, not applicable, incomplete, this whole little yes, no, true, false, awesome. So I'm going to go with true and false for did we put the kettle on? I can then apply a rule, okay? Basically meaning that if I have anything following this order, I need to make sure that everything in this group has been done before moving on. I'm not going to put any rules in. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I then am going to press enter. Enter is our best friend when we are adding things. And then I now have the checklist items. What are the checklist items? Well, what do I need to check in order to make sure I put the kettle on? So I'm then going to go with the order. Again, how do I want to do it? And, well, is the plug on? Okay, that's the first thing I want to check. Options, yes, no, great. Guidance, you refer to your manual if you want to. Okay, great. I've now set up something very basic, but when I have it set up, even more cool functions, I'm simply going to hit the export function. This is then going to save the checklist in a file that I'm now able to import. So if I import my previously exported and created checklist, I want to go and get it. Okay, I've got a webinar checklist. Let's pull that in, save me some time. Look at all those steps that I've got. Okay, now once that's pulled into the file, you will then see in client setup, you are able to go and view your checklists. Right, let me jump into another file. We'll carry on with checklists in a moment, right? Okay, when we were busy on Tuesday, we did cover quite a bit in terms of the trial balance. However, Pumi did say we were going to show you a little bit of something with direct importing. So I want to highlight some direct imports as well as what a couple of the other buttons are doing on your trial balance. So, okay, I have got my client file and we want to do their 2026 financials. They are on Sage and Pumi, would you believe it? Mr. Kofi's been on Sage all this time, by the way. So we're going to save just by the way. Ready.
He might see this, so I won't say anything. We love him.
We do. We do. He does give us some really good cake and coffee on the house. So the direct import, guys, you are able to import directly from QuickBooks online, Sage online, or Xero online. Now I'm going to go and pull in my Sage trial balance. I will log in with the details for my Sage. Boom. Okay, I might have preloaded. I'm going to go find our dear old client file. And I now have options. So I just want to briefly explain them because these aren't as, what you call it, evident on the Excel import. So let's just briefly touch up on them. Import into opening balance will pull through all 12 months into your opening balance column. Import monthly balances will import March into month 1, April month 2, and so forth. Okay. The other, we did touch up on automatic linking and smart linking. So that would just automatically link your accounts. Clear existing amounts. Now, our dear Mr. Kofi, he sometimes goes and puts something in the incorrect account, and then he goes and he creates a whole new account, and it just makes it a little bit messy. So I just want to make sure that when I import my new Sage trial balance, it is correct, i.e. I'm not duplicating anything. So I would tell it to clear existing amounts if I have previously imported it. I haven't done so for 2026 in this file, so I'm not going to do that. If you tick import empty accounts, it is going to pull in the entire chart of accounts and all 0 values, which means you may have to go and link a whole lot of accounts that are not necessary. So this is obviously for certain cases where you may want to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm simply going to import. And boom, there's my 2026 figures. But wait, there's more. We did say that the direct import has an additional benefit to it. So for QuickBooks and for Sage, I want to highlight something here. I'm going to right click on an amount and I'm going to get a mini drop down. Okay. Ooh, I see I can enable spell check. I'm going to come back to that one. But what does drill down do? Look at that. You can see the general ledger while still being in Draftworx. Now I don't have to have multiple tabs open and not wonder where the music is coming from. Okay, so I'm able to go view that. So I'm going to just cancel that one. Now, what was that enable spell check thing? Let me just see what this does. Enable spell check dialog. Hey, Pumi, didn't we cover something about my terrible spelling on Tuesday and we wished we had something to help me?
Yep, we did. We definitely did. The depreciation was causing chaos.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so guys, if you enable that spell check on dialog, we have you covered. So I'm going to go and add my depreciation. I'm just going to give it a random account number. And I am going to go and hack this so bad. I promise you my spelling is terrible. I'm going to press
that's not
enter.
how you're supposed to spell it? Oh my gosh.
Is it not? Oh, wait. Once I pressed enter, something popped up. Oh, I'm actually surprised they found a suggestion for me. I thought I really hacked it. So you'll see. I've got spelling errors found. Good luck trying to decipher that one. But it's telling me I can change it to depreciation. Do I want to? Well, considering I don't know what I just wrote, yes. So let me change. Oh, I now have a lovely, nice spelling. Let me just quickly go give it a little bit of a link somewhere. That's not the right link, but there I now know I've got a spell check enabled for wheat potatoes. Okay. What else is on here that we did not cover and that is useful? So, okay. Sorry, I just need to clear my throat there. Okay. When we are talking about different views of your trial balance, I just want to highlight that there is a little periods option here. Okay. You can see that I could view a monthly trial balance, monthly transaction. All this is going to do is just give you a different layout. So for those individuals that are doing monthlies, you can then go and say monthly trial balance. I wasn't doing monthly, so I don't have information, but I'm able to view that option. Okay. I just want it back to normal. What does resync prior year mean? Well, simply, resync prior year is if, for example, Mr. Kofi has been keeping us rather busy and actually we were a little bit behind. We had to do his 2025 and his 2026 simultaneously. Pumi has gone and made a change on 2025's trial balance in terms of a journal. I needed to resync to mine so that obviously comparatives agree to the signed up comparatives that we'll do for 2025. If I resync prior year, it enables that option. All right. Lastly, I want to show off the delete, or at least explain the delete. We will come to consolidate a little bit later today, but I just want to go over delete. Now, if I tell the trial balance to clear trial balance, selected year or prior years, it is simply going to wipe out your entire trial balance. Okay, it'll be blank. We don't want that. Okay, maybe we do, but just be careful. Clear trial balance takes it all away, meaning re-import, relink. Clear link numbers, however, will leave your account, your name, and your values, but enable you to go and redo the linking process. Lastly, or not lastly, set trial balance amounts to 0. We will go and have the account still visible, the name still visible, the link numbers visible, but all the values zeroed out. Delete row will go and delete said row. However, if there are values in any of the prior years, it will not delete. Remove empty accounts will simply go and neaten up your trial balance by taking out all the 0 values and keeping it simple. The last thing on your trial balance, I've already set it up, is foreign currency translation. Now, in the event, I think I did have someone asking that they might have to present their financial statements in a different currency. So if I need to translate my values, foreign currency translation, I'm going to go to foreign currency setup. I've already preset mine up. I've got dollars, and then I will go to annual, and I will set the spot and average rate. Remember, spot affects your balance sheet. Average affects your income statement. Go set up my respective years, and you do have the monthly option to go and also do that. All right. Once it is set up, I'm actually going to toggle my currency, and you'll see I now have an additional column saying FCT final, meaning this is my translated value of my 2026 trial balance figures. And what it will do for me is there's an account there called FCT. That is an automatic Draftworx account where I go and pull in the balancing of your foreign currency translation reserve. Okay. Right, let's dive back into Pumi's file that we were working with on Tuesday. So let me just go in there. Where's my Bruco? I know Mr. Kofi is desperate. Let's jump in there, guys. Okay. One thing I just want to highlight on this screen pop-up, there are 2 views to it. If you see this one where you see that it is current year 2026, this is the financial performance of the file. I'm able to see my profit and loss and get that as an overview. However, if you say electronic review, it is going to give you an indication of your actual progress in the file. What's been prepared, reviewed, partner reviewed. But I want to go down a little and show you guys something of interest. Here, where it says document durations, this is telling me how active I was in the file. How long did I actually work on the file? So those lovely little budget preparations we need to do, this will give me that indication. While we are on electronic reviews, you know what? I actually want to highlight something. It's not quite a new feature, all right, but it is to do with team setup. So remember on Tuesday, we did say I can write review notes to Pumi or to anyone else. Well, I need to do that by setting up a team. So in my client setup, I can see those checklists again. We're going to dive in there a little bit later. But team setup, what am I going to do here? Now, I can manually add my team member. So I'm going to add Pumi. I would add his email address, very important, so that he can get those notifications I was talking about. And I can assign him a position. He's my manager. And when active, you'll be able to allocate those profiles. I'm simply going to press enter. I want you to notice that Pumi is active. I need that ticked for a certain function to work. So I'm going to highlight the new feature in that respect. So always make sure your team members are ticked as active. Okay. You will see that I can notify how am I going to notify? In-app. So I'm able to go and say, I can notify when I assign electronic review notifications to an individual, or when something is reviewed, or when I go and do a review note. All right. But I have a lot of team members in this particular engagement. I don't want to do this manually. We like shortcuts. So I'm going to go and import my team members. Okay, I've got quite a very short list here, but it can be much longer. So I'm simply going to go select all my individuals. They are all active. My emails have pulled through. I'll go and set up the positions and then choose my notification. Now, at the top here, next to your license, you will see that I have a little chat box. There are all my notifications. I'll be able to see that a note has been assigned to me, a comment, or anything in that respect. So those will go and pop up. Now, a very important update to the team setup was our security. Restricted access. What does that mean? All right. If I am in a client file such as Bruco, and you know what, Mr. Kofi's daughter is actually working with us, and I do not want her to view these financials. How am I going to stop that from happening? Maybe she might get inquisitive. Who knows? What do I do? Well, if I activate that restricted access, and it is required to be activated by a manager or partner, it simply means this. If your name, or if your clerk or anyone under your license is not listed below, is not ticked as active, they will not be allowed to access that file under any password. You can enter the partner password till you go blue in the face. They will not be able to access it. So please note that this restricted access does have an implication on that. All right. So there's my team setup, all sorted. Happy to get that done. Last thing I just want to quickly cover is in the client setup. We did touch briefly, but this is a common related question we get. So when it comes to management accounts, all right, your financial years is where you can use this to your advantage, but also I can do something like this. If I want to include monthly management accounts where, okay, Mr. Kofi likes to see his March versus his April actual versus budgeted figures, but the bank likes to see a full set of financials where there's notes, etc., etc. What you're going to do is the following, okay? I can, under client setup, just want to show you it's not there already. Okay, this is all I have access to. I can import a monthly management pack. And then I would now have access to that monthly management pack where I have the 12 months showing. However, if it's those condensed ones where you need to see the notes and everything like that, remember, we never change the year-end date, okay? If your client does have a extension, i.e. now they've changed their year-end and it's now 15 months and you need assistance with just that situation, please, by all means, reach out to the amazing support guys. They will be able to set it up accordingly for you. But management, do not change your year-end. Update the reporting period to however many months you are doing, select the financial period override and change that date. Now let's dive into my file. I know Pumi has been working. Let's see what he's actually been doing. So let's jump into what I call the electronic review screen. Okay. The electronic review screen gives you a broad overview of all the documents you have in your file. What's the progress, what's been marked as prepared, what's been marked as reviewed, and so forth. Now, I can see I've got some coloring happening here. They are yellow, and I see it says, well, prepared, and that is Pumi. He's gone and prepared that for me. See all the blues? The blues indicate that they are not applicable. I'd actually like to hide the not applicables. So I'm going to go and turn the view enable. And now I'm able to see a better picture. What I do want to highlight here is there is a new feature. So if I wanted to assign working papers to someone, you can see I've got the assigned to column. I will then go and assign it to one of those individuals. So I'll assign it to Pumi. Okay, but there's a lot of working papers to go and assign. Right, we now have the bulk assign function. I can go click assign and I can go select my team member and I can then go and assign those in a bulk manner. I can do the same for my reviews. I can go assign bulk documents for the reviewer to do. One last little trick we're going to show on the electronic review is, you know, those instances where you have your trial balance and you're wanting to make a comment on it. Now, obviously, I can't make a review note on my trial balance, but in my electronic review, I see I have working trial balance. I am going to go and open the little grouping there, and I see that I have a little note function here. So now I can actually go and say, where was depreciation? Okay, who am I going to assign it to? Well, I'm going to assign it to Pumi, and now I have an open note for my trial balance. So I can add a note here. Okay. All right. Now let's open up our financial statements. We're going to be reviewing what Pumi did for me. Let me quickly get some open. Okay. Right, I'm busy reviewing and I want to check something on the property, plant and equipment lead. So I'm going to go and jump to it. Now I do recall Pumi did add a hyperlink for me. So I'm able to go and see that. And it would take me to his supporting document. Now, that's cool and fair. But you know what? I want to show you guys a cool trick. Now, yes, in case anyone missed out on Tuesday, how did he create this particular hyperlink? Well, you select your cell, you go to your shortcuts for your hyperlink, and it will open up all the documents in the file. So I'm able to go and find the document I'm looking for, double click, assign it. Please note, if you click on the little pages there, it will take you to other options. So I can also go and say, well, you know what? I want to reference the journal that I did for splitting depreciation here. So I can actually go and add that link too. Now, I want to show you something awesome. I would actually really like, because sometimes I practice, reviewing the supporting documents first. I'd like to see where this is referenced to. How am I going to do that? Okay. Prepare yourself. This is quite a cool function. It is a new feature. So I right-click on the item I want. And I'm actually see that I've got an option here called Add as Hyperlink Target, right? What do I want this target name to be? I'm just going to say MV for Motivate. Okay. Obviously, you can be a bit more creative or a bit more formal, entirely up to you guys. So I'm going to say, okay. You'll see now on my navigation bar, I see that I have a target called MV. Right. Where would I like this to actually bounce back to? I go to my lead, and you know what? I want to reference it here. I want to be able to do a two-way hyperlink. So I'm going to select my target. Okay. I don't want it as a one-way. I want it as a two-way. And I want the text to state MV, and I want text to state, or say that. And I'm not going to remove the target from my targets list just yet, because I may want to use it elsewhere. So I still want to have access to it. But I am going to go maybe do the below the target cell, and I'm going to say, okay, right, what's it done for me? It's created my link. Okay, I just forgot to change that name. But if I go click that link, it takes me back. Okay, so a really cool new feature. I really like it. It can do some really cool wonders. Just dive into our journals quickly. Okay, so I do see some journals here. All right, let's have a few, menu options at the top here. Now, in my 2025, okay, I may have had an instance where, again, I was not paying attention, all right? And actually, this journal should be posted directly to 2026. I really don't have the time to go redo this. So what am I going to do? Right. You will see that over here, I've got a copy function, a move function. So I actually want to move this to 2026 because I made an oopsie. Let me go and say move. Where do I want to move it to? Well, I needed to go to 2026. I don't want it to go to 2024. So I just select the respective year. Go and move it. Haha, it's now there. I didn't have to go redo all my work. Yes, saving some time. Awesome. What about the copy function? Well, in instances where, okay, this particular journal actually is relative to 2026, but it is important for 2025, so we don't want to move it. What are we going to do? Well, select the journal and copy it. And now it's also in my 2026 and 2025. I haven't affected my prior year financials in any way whatsoever. Another new feature that we had in respect to journals is you'll see I have a little button here called e-review. Well, now I can go and review, mark them off as prepared, manager reviewed, or whatever the instance is. Okay, so it does give you a little bit of a review process. Okay, there are different types of journals. So what are they? What's their purpose? Well, budget and interim will affect the budget and interim trial balances only. They will not affect your working trial balance. Drafting, those are for those instances where I need to go and move current portions to long-term portions or vice versa. It is not affecting my client's trial balance, so I don't want to have that. Normal adjusting, well, the client's gone and made an error. I need to go and process that so I can correct it, and they will be needing to go and post that as well in their client system. So that's a normal adjusting. Not recorded simply means I want to see the effect of a journal without having to redo it every 5 seconds. So I can have it not recorded, but it stays in the system. I didn't have to delete it, redo it, delete it, redo it. Okay. Overs and unders. It does not take it to an overs and unders schedule. It will just give you an indication as to where that is coming from. And lastly, standing journal, all those lovely consolidation, elimination entries where they are miles long and you have to redo them every year. Trust me, mark that journal as a standing and it's going to carry forward to your next year file, saving you a lot of time of redoing those journals. Okay, now let's dive back into my financial. I want to show off some fun stuff. Okay. All right, let's have a look at these financials that Pumi did for me. Okay, my cover. You know what? Pumi, Mr. Espresso, they actually want to sign or actually take acknowledgement that they prepared another set of financials for me. So I don't feel like going and typing all of it out. I'm actually going to replicate this to another file. So how am I going to do that? Well, you guys can see that I've got my template tools and I have this function called replicate cells. Okay. Where do I want to replicate this cell to? Well, I want to go and take it to our cappuccino file. And when I say replicate, it is going to ask me, are you sure you just want to replicate this particular cell to that particular file? Yes. Okay. Tells me cells are being replaced. Let me go and find my cappuccino file. Okay. I'm going to go and open those financials. And it is replicated to the other file. Okay. Right, let's have a look at the other little reports you've done for me. So far, it's all looking good. Let's have a look at the directors. Something looks a little bit wonky, yeah. Draftworx makes me less depressing. Is that per the standard for me?
Oh my gosh. I don't know where that came from.
Oh my hat. The KK. I think my cat jumped onto my keyboard last night and I missed it. Not again. It's going to replace all the work you did. Oh, heavens. Can you remember what we had here?
I really don't. It's been like 2 days already for me, and I've been looking at the financials backwards and forwards, but I cannot remember a thing.
Okay, well, guess what? I remember seeing there's a function that's going to help us. Let's see if it can help us. Oh, okay. So, I want to see if this is actually what Draftworx template is. I mean, it doesn't quite look right, but let me see what the masters say. How am I going to see that? So in my template tools, you will see that I have this little button here called Compare Template Financials. All right. So left-hand screen is our actual financials that Pumi worked really hard on. Right-hand side of my screen is the Draftworx template. Now, I want to see this particular section just to make sure we're complying. And you click on it. Oh, okay, oh dear. Okay, so when you see the red going through a certain thing, it's highlighting that this section over here does not relate to the Draftworx template. Oopsie. So what are we going to do? Well, how are we going to fix this? This damn cat of mine. All right, how do I fix this? Can't remember what was there. Don't feel like typing it out if I do find it. I want something quick and easy to assist me. What am I going to do? Well, in my template tools, I see another button. Refresh rows from template. What do you do? Let's see. If I select a cell and I tell it to refresh, it is going to overwrite that cell with what Draftworx had originally. Day is safe, Mr. Koki is not going to fire me. Yeah. Okay. Now, what happens if, I don't know, I see something else funny? This director's responsibilities looks a bit different. What's happening here? Oh dear. Hey, Pumi, is this by any chance our other clients? Director's responsibilities and approval.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Nikki. I was experimenting with like importing information and I think I brought in the wrong sheet. Should I just delete it?
No, wait. Why you want to delete it? No.
How do I fix this?
So in your template tools, right? Import sheets from template. So this is definitely not the right thing. I want the original back. If I had to go line by line and refresh the rows, it may take me long. And also, I don't quite know what's actually correct and what's not. So I'm going to go and import a sheet from template. Which sheet am I importing? My response. Let's select that. Look at that. It booms. Our day is made. We're going to meet our deadline, yo.
Oh, hallelujah. Thank you so much, Nikki.
You are more than welcome. All right, a few other things. Again, I'm reviewing the file. I'm really tired of jumping between the screen. What can I do to better improve my viewing process? I'm going to
Nikki?
Yeah.
I just want you to take me back to the template tools.
Yeah, sure.
So Samira says that they don't see the buttons that you have on your template tools. Why would that be the case?
Apologies, guys. I'm logged in as partner. So I have a lot more functions. So if I log out, most of these won't be there. It is because a lot of the template tools. Some will quickly help fix something. Some might structurally change your financials. So it just needs that extra level of authority to implicate that action. Like, Pumi, you won't be seeing these on yours, right? Because I don't think I've given you partner access.
No. I just learned about passwords this morning, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm really behind in teaching you. Okay, yeah, so that is why. If you are, by any chance, seeing a few buttons here and there that don't look like they're on yours, I am logged in as a partner, guys. It just saves having to keep logging out and in so that I don't keep you here till tomorrow morning with all my logging in. Okay. Awesome. So I've replaced that. What's next in terms of reviewing? Oh, yeah, I want to see this on two different screens. So I'm going to float my financial. So if I right click on a tab, it could be your trial balance, it could be your journals, it could be your financials, any tab. And I'm going to tell it to float. And I'm hoping it is going to jump here. You can now see that I can go and move this to my secondary screen. We won't do that for you guys because you won't see it, but you can see that now I can go and view this while checking the trial balance, have them side to side. If I make any changes in the financials or the trial balance, they will be updated. You can then simply right click, dock it back into the company so that it is back to being viewed. There is a weird client, well, not a weird, but there was a client request from Mr. Kofi. He isn't quite happy with how that PPE note was displaying. So I just want to quickly show everyone how to switch that PPE note, if you don't mind. So I'm going to do my template tools again. Sorry, I just want to menu this so I can see the action. So in my template tools, I will have what we call the add links button. So in my add links button, Pumi did briefly touch up on this in the trial balances. You can increase the amount of links if you have run out of some, but there's also certain ones where I can go and switch. So PPE note was my problem. I am going to type in a keyword called switch. And I am now going to go and switch my property, plant, and equipment note. So I'm going to say select, and I'm going to apply that update. I am going to get a little bit of a warning, guys, simply because it is a structural change. I need to make sure I have the manager log in. So I'm going to go and do that. Yep. It's going to update the link numbers, and when it's updating link numbers, it's adding them to your working trial balance database, and it is updating your financials at the same time. The nice part is that while it does this, it creates you a backup file. So it is going to tell me it's relinked it. So if you jump to your trial balance, do not have a heart attack. For me, the trial balance does look a little bit blank. So no panic. It's just simply filtered it to make sure that if
you know how long that took me.
Dude, it's okay. I promise. Like, do you think I'd go and delete everything and make a mistake and miss our deadline this afternoon?
Oh, Lord.
So if you do get this, guys, please do not panic. I promise you we haven't deleted everything. It's just filtered it to identify if we had any unlinked accounts. Because remember, you can do this function in your trial balance as well. Okay, so let me just clear that and give Pumi his heart rate back to normal. There's my trial balance, everyone. In your financial data, you will now see I have an additional file. It's called a detailed back. So if I did make an oopsie and I need to go back to the original layout, I've got a backup file to recover from. Okay, Pumi, you know, I spotted you chowing some cake just now. It actually made me really hungry and I feel a little bit left out. Do you feel like meeting me in the kitchen so I can go have a piece of that cake that you were chowing? And maybe we can have a 10-minute quick break. Everyone can catch up on some coffee.
I'm already in the kitchen.
Of course you are. I mean, really, why I'm asking that. Guys, I think we're going to just call it a quick 10-minute break. We have covered quite a bit, and there's some more interesting bits of nuggets coming your way. So let's have a little 10-minute break, stretch our legs, have some coffee, and we can then run from there. I love it. It's a party, it's a vibe. Yes, we are getting ready for Friday, people. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I hope you all are refreshed. I hope some of you managed to get some cake. Pumis and I smashed that cake. There's no more. We're sorry. We'd love to share it, but we were kind of just really hungry. So sorry. Before I dive back in, I do just want to remind all our lovely attendees, this is being recorded. We will let you have the recording once it has been tweaked a little bit to make sure it's of viewing pleasure, as well as all your CPD certificates will be sent after the session. Tomorrow, maybe next week, we'll see. But please don't, fret. All that administration's our worry. You guys just sit back, relax. Let us dive back into those financials. Because I'm not going to lie, that cake was smashing, yo.
Nicole, we can't make people jealous.
I'm making them jealous. I mean, I'm sure they've got better cake.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope so.
While I go to screen, okay, you can see. So he mutes.
Yep, you're coming through clear.
There we go. So, before our little 10-minute interval, let me just switch that camera off. Okay. We did do a switch note. I switched my PPE, so let us have a look and see what it looks like. Okay. It is now showing the alternative view. Awesome. I'm sure Mr. Kopi is going to be a very, very happy man. Holmes, you might need to just tweak this up a little bit for me a little bit later, because I know when I do a switch, all those lovely additions you went and put in, they have obviously cleared. I just need to redo that reconciliation. All right, I'm going through Mr. Kopi's note. Yeah, sorry, I cut you off. My bad. What were you going to say?
No, sorry. I just wanted to see, what would it look like in your preview, that note that you just switched?
Of course. Let's do a little bit of a live preview. And it's going to look like that. Smashing. So pretty.
Awesome. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you. Okay. Now, I've gone through the notes. There's just a couple more little queries Mr. Kofi has for us, Pums. So we're almost there. We're going to meet this deadline. I am convinced of it. Okay. Here's one question is, they have a very specific accounting policy that is in one of his other files that he'd like. It actually looks like this when I find it. Okay. So, we are really on a very tight deadline. I don't feel like copying and pasting from this one to the other. I'm sure, Pums, you have your feet up, so I doubt you want to do the copy paste and get this right. So, I have a shortcut for us, guys. In the event I have a file that I have a specific thing I would like it to replicate across. So yeah, I did replicate a cell, but this is a full page document that I'd like to pull through. Now, how am I going to get it here without having to copy paste and make sure the formatting is up to scratch? Okay, content. Okay, in your content, you will see a import worksheet option. I'm going to go there. And I'm going to go find that particular file that Mr. Kofi is talking about. And mine is called the accounting policy file. So I'm going to go into it. And I'm going to go to my financial data, Draftworx files, because I want it from that set of financials. Please err on the side of caution when doing this, because it is completely going to replace the entire page. So if I've done some very specific custom work, I will lose that because it is being replaced. The same goes for your import sheet, i.e. when we replace the director's responsibilities. If I replace it, it replaces the whole page. So if you've got custom work on your notes or anything like that, please just maybe check in with support and see what the best solution would be to get that info across, especially because we wouldn't like you to have to lose any work, redo anything. We want to save you as much time as possible. So let me quickly pull that one in. What did I say? Accounting policies. So I'm going to go and pull that in. Oh, look at that. I don't have to go redo the work. Ha, boom, you're lucky. You can keep your feet up still.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, you're lucky. All right. I am now going to have a look at something. So on Tuesday, we explained, how the linked numbers work. We were able to relate that income is an I link, expenses an E, that kind of association. Now, how does this benefit me if I'm wanting to say, build my own notes or custom something? I just want to actually understand Draftworx's formula. All right, going to do this with my dear old property, plant, and equipment. Yeah, sorry, Pumi, that balance, you're going to have to just help me fix it a little bit later, huh? I see I've gone out of balance because of that switch. Sorry. Go.
I don't know if my feet can come back down. They're so high up, Nikki.
Or is it? You must be lucky. Must be nice. Okay. So let's break this formula down, guys. Now, I'm going to focus on property, plant, and equipment, just because it's a nice, easy one to explain. So you'll see that our financials are Excel-like. We are not Excel. We're very similar, which means I can use formulas like I do in Excel. So if I break this formula down, this one, what does it say to me? Equals sum if TB link NA 0 question marks final. This is a lot to understand. Okay, let's take it down step by step. So I'm taking the sum if. Okay, so we're going to take the sum, and I've said TB link. Now, why would I want a TB link in my financials in this particular cell? Well, the trial balance is my backbone. My financials are, the output. I want to pull that information in from my trial balance. So I'm going to go and find a link specific. So what link am I looking at here? I see NA dot, so NA, not current asset. Okay, got you. 0, and then the question marks. Let's go back to that trial balance. Why are there question marks? Because I'm sure if I go and filter NA.0, I don't see question marks. So what are the question marks? Question marks are placeholders, meaning I'm not going to say, and brace yourself, there are 120 links for PPE. This includes all my asset categories from land to other assets and all of that. So NA.0 means I'm taking the property, plant, and equipment items all together. The question mark means I'm going to take the links from NA010 and I'm going to include all of them to the end of NA089 in a simplified formula. Because if I didn't, and I went and explicitly said, you know what, let's just get a formula here. I want to copy something. And if I had to go and break it down, if I were to just do this as a formula, equals sum of TB link NA030, it's my motor vehicles. I would need to now go and include every single link like this. So I go 010.000, 010.001, and so forth. I haven't got time to go write out 120 formulas. So the question marks enable me to include all the links relative to that property, plant, and equipment. And final simply refers to my current tax year. If we look at your prior, it says prior 1. Where is it getting all those figures from? My prior year trial balance. So it's just a nice way to simplify the formula as such. I mean, if we go look at the detailed income statement, we'll see that my coffee one, taking the sum of the final values of any income statement item with the TB link I.000. So all my coffee accounts are being accumulated into that formula. Okay, let's preview these financials because I'm pretty happy with what I've been reviewing so far, and I want to check some of the client-specific things. Okay. All right. Now, just a trick for everybody when they preview and they are working in a firm like scenario, and I've got letterheads. Now, Pomi has imported all these letterheads, but what happens if I'm a new clerk? And apologies, guys, I'm just going to clear these out. I don't want my letterheads there. I'm going to pretend I'm a new employee. And this is going to affect my outcome of my financials because now Pumi has all these letterheads and now I don't. Oopsie. Sorry, Pumi. You don't have those letterheads anywhere by any chance, do you?
I have them on my local.
Oh dear. Can you do me a favor? Now that we've taught you about those logins and I was able to give you that specific login.
Yes.
Can you, in your preview, go to the button that says Share Settings? Obviously, you need to be logged in so that you can view them. Okay.
Alrighty.
You're going to hit the button that says Save to Cloud for me.
On it.
Okay, once you've saved to cloud, let me know.
I am on it. All right. Oh, good to go.
We're good to go. All right. Now, because Pumi is elsewhere and I can't access his local, and of course, he's gone and set this up in such a nice way, and now I don't have the same. I'm going to go and say load from cloud. It's going to give me some options. Now, do I only want to import his images, or do I want to import the images and the options? Options meaning where was the header image placed? Was it top center, middle, those options. So actually, I want it to look identical to Pumi's setup. It is my firm preference. I like it. I want it like that. I'm going to do images and options, and I'm going to go and load. Aha! The images are back. Yes, thank you, Cloud. Just so you know, the firm preview options, same principle is applied. If I've got certain things set up, like my margins, my where I've applied letterheads, anything that I've changed with my firm preview settings, you are able to go save them to the cloud, and all the other users are able to pull them in so that you have that uniformity across. Okay, now let me quickly have a look, see. I want to just go and double check. I know that Mr. Kofi went and put in a lovely little note for me. I am just checking in. Okay, I've got my statistics. It's looking good. I've got a table here. I actually need something to be changed. Pumi, Mr. Kofi wants you to go and add a specific note. So I'm going to quickly give you a review note. I'll explain it to you in the review section. You can just sort it out for us. But I want to add a page break. Okay. Now, if I go to my notes, where was that one? I think is it on notes one? Where was that table that he went to put in for us? Oh yeah, notes number 2. Mr. Kofi actually wants to break his table at, halfway. So what happens if I have to do a page break? I mean, I could have blank spaces and I don't want to kill all the trees. I want to use as much of the paper as I can. So save the tree. How am I going to add a page break? Well, in your print layout, you will see that I can go and insert a page break. So if you ever see this lovely lime green color, it is just indicating that you have inserted a manual page break. Just have a look at it again. I know Mr. Kobe wanted it split. Let's just see if he's happy. Let me go back to my note. Oh dear. For me,
I have
Are
work
you
to do,
able?
don't I?
Yeah, I think it's about high time I actually put my feet up. I feel like, I've been doing quite a bit. But before I do, I'm just going to quickly set you up a review note because I've actually made a mess of this continued note header. See, I'm terrible. God, I made a mess. So I'm going to just quickly set you a reminder, if you don't mind, just to fix this and then also do those other queries Mr. Kofi's looking for with regards to that repairs and maintenance breakdown, the few other little adjustments he's wanting, which you're going to show me. So let me just quickly send you that note so you don't forget, or I don't forget. It's me that's got the terrible memory. Please fix format of table. Thanks. And I'm going to go Pumi. And now I have a little review note for Pumi. Pums, I think it's about time I could put my feet up. Would you kindly take over and show us that magic, please?
I got you. Let me go ahead. Well, give me a shout when you can see my screen.
I can see
Awesome.
the light.
Awesome. That is fantastic. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. I was very comfortable, but I guess it is not, the day's not over yet. So let us
sorry.
get it. Let's get to it. So you said something about Note 15
Oh,
with
yeah,
Mr.
yeah, yeah.
Coffee.
Sorry. So that repairs and maintenance that he wants us to break down, you know how he is.
Of course.
He specifically asked if you can please make it Note 15. And if you could make it look like he saw in the lead schedule, I didn't know we'd sent it to him, but can you show that off, please?
Sure. This is what happens when you provide too much information. TMI is the biggest crime. But let's get to it. I'm gonna
Thanks,
go
bro.
ahead and you might remember, I'm more of the shortcut guy. So I'm gonna show you a shortcut to get me to where Nikki wants me to put in this note. Easy way to actually navigate your financials. I will go ahead and say Control Shift D. Then this navigational tool pops up. You'll remember my search tool, basically still that, but just in the financials specifically. So Control Shift D helps me to navigate within the financials. I want to go to Note 15. There's a lot of 15s, but I know it's exactly this note because it says notes right there. I'm going to click on it. It takes me to where I want to be. Once I land here, he wants me to add a note. Okay, easy enough. I'll go ahead and click on the row in which I want to add from. So I want to add above. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Note 15. Go to my design where I can add multiple rows. Alternatively, if I'm only adding a single row, I can use the insert row function under the format as we introduced previously. But let's use the bigger one. So I'm not quite sure how many rows it's going to be, but let me go for 10. If I ever need more, obviously I can go ahead and add more. I'm going to choose 10 rows to add, and then I'm going to insert. Booyah. You do not.
I didn't know that existed. Yeah, I've been doing it a long way. Yes, no man.
when you don't have passwords, you need to get resourceful. But yeah. So one thing to note is when you add rows, you can add them without actually logging in. But if you do want to delete rows in the financials, you can't actually delete them. You would need to be logged in either as a senior manager or partner. Just a note for you there. So I need to create a note. So the basis of my note is the groupings as we previously discussed. So you'll see that when I open this section here, there is no grouping for my notes. So how do I go about adding that? So first things first, I will want a heading. Mr. Coffee said he wants what? Repairs. And where's that spell check? Maintenance. Now I have a heading. To actually create the grouping, I need to start from below the heading. The heading is I always neglect it. I'll explain further with neglecting the heading, but I always neglect the heading when I create my grouping because the system needs to then realize where should the grouping start. And by me skipping the heading, it actually tells it that's where the grouping will begin. I'm gonna go ahead and drag my mouse all the way down. I'll go all the way down to 497. And then I'll go to design. Under design, there's this group node function. I will then click on it. It creates the node, the grouping for me. So there's no number pulling in though. So what's going on with that? Simple thing. Since it is a new grouping, it doesn't automatically generate the number. So I need to actually inform Draftworx that I need a number to pull in there. I will then click on the auto number note option here. That then helps me to create a note number. So number 15 pulls in automatically because it's based on the sequence of my notes. I am right after 14, just before 15, which now is 16, which then will update accordingly. But there's still something wrong with my heading here. It doesn't quite look like the others. So I'm going to go ahead and steal the formatting of this note by going to my format painter, just like you would have in Excel as well. Does the same thing, exactly replicates the formatting to your selected cell. So now I have my heading, but then I need additional details. He wants it to look like the lead sheet. How do I get to the lead sheet? Well, there's another trick for that. It is Control-Shift-M. You'll see it pulls up all the lead sheets. Which lead sheet am I looking for? Repairs and maintenance. I don't know. Where would it be?
Other expenses, you.
Other expenses. Awesome.
I think that's the one we sent him.
Control-Shift-M is how I actually was able to access my menu, which is in reference to this menu here, as therefore it is M in that instance, if that's a helpful way to remember that. He wants it to look like this. Oh, but I remember he said something about the office. I'll just look for that note.
No, Shane, you don't have to. Yeah. So he wanted you to combine Office 1 and Office 2.
Okay.
Just to say cool. Office. But he wants the rest of it detailed as it shows.
No problem. No problem.
All
right.
Potato.
So how do I create this? Easiest way, instead of me typing in, since we saw how my typing goes, I can actually go ahead and go to the design tab. Under the design tab, you'll see there's the trial balance values. So this is exactly what it says, right? The trial balance value. So if I want to include the account numbers, I can use those account numbers from there. But I want to use the account names. So I'm going to go ahead, click on account name. It then pulls up my trial balance. I want the repairs. Repairs. This is all my repairs. So I'm going to go ahead, select this one. Cool. Repairs machine. And then I'm going to choose the other repairs as well. Repairs. Office. Motor vehicles. And the final one would be the repairs general. Cool. So since he said he wanted to combine office into one disclosure, I can actually remove this office one. Simple trick, really. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste the value, which you'll see it comes in as a formula. But when I paste the value, such as you would in Excel, you simply have the words come in for you. I'm going to then remove the one, then I have office right there for me. So what's next? I need to actually input the values. So I'm just going to confirm, am I looking at the right period? So my L is 2026, my N is 2025. Cool, I'll keep that in mind. So now I need to bring in the information again. Also going to be under your design, under trial balance values. I'm going to choose final because I want to pull in the final year values, the final values per my TB. So I already know that this is the repairs for the coffee machine. And when I'm dealing with the repairs for the office, I'm just going to filter for office specifically. I'm going to drag the two office repair accounts so that I select both of them. You just click and drag on that, and then it will automatically select all of them. now that I've selected both, I'll go ahead and select, and then you'll see that it pulls in as 16,000 with two of these formulas instead of just that one account being referenced. So you'll see it's 3501, 3502, which were the two account names for my office repairs. I'll go ahead and do the same. So this is just for when you have multiple accounts that you need to link to one line. That's just a simple trick. Select multiple accounts and you're good to go. Let's just finish that off, get my remaining repairs right there. Okay, awesome. So now I've got my repairs, good to go. What more do they want? Well, and he does want a total, or does he just want it without that? Oh yeah, he did want a total. I do have that note here. So yeah, how do you total it?
Yeah, please give it a total.
Of course.
Know how he is.
Yeah, no, definitely. So how do I total these repairs? Well, you go to the format tab and we have this little option here called the auto sum. You click on it and you get multiple other options, average, count numbers, etc. I want to auto sum. So it's going to automatically sum the numbers that I'm directly above the cell that I'm trying to auto sum from. But what's going on with this formatting? It doesn't quite look right. So again, I can either go ahead and steal the formatting from the above, or alternatively, so that I can get the numbers to look like the rest of the numbers in my financials, I can go to format cells and then choose Draftworx, which is obviously the really coolest format. Then it will obviously match the formatting of the rest of my numbers. But yeah, I do actually want it to look like the other totals. So I'm going to go ahead and do the format painter there. Now I have my current year good and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and just copy that. So why am I copying the current year into the prior year? I can't disclose the current year twice. It's a bit silly. So what is a cool feature in Draftworx is under the developer formatting, you can actually change the formula. So you remember Nicole mentioned that the formulas read final, prior one, prior two, etc. It currently reads as final. I can change that final to prior year one by just clicking on my this -1 here, or year minus, however you want to read it. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and then you'll see it automatically updates the figures for me to the prior year figures. I have now completed the information, but he did mention that he wants us to actually refer to the repairs and maintenance, which are disclosed as one figure in our other expenses, which is right here in note 16. So I can go ahead and just type in refer to note 16. But what happens if, I change the note 16 and now I have to go back and retype this each time? We're all about automating in Draftworx, which assists you to actually get the best results in the fastest time. So how would I go about automating this? Well, since it's already typed in, I'm just going to add a formula to this. How we do this is just as in Excel, you can go ahead and say equals, and then with this formula, I need to actually include the little floaters. I think they're called apostrophes. I'm not sure what they're called. Okay, the quotations. Yes, I'm going to insert the quotations. And once I have the wording, this is just the text that I want to refer to. I can go ahead and then change this section here. Sorry, Nikki, did you want to say something?
Oh, no, I was going to say I love the idea that floaters is the new quotation mark.
Sorry. Listen, this is not public, is it? No one will ever remember this.
Nah, we good. We should be good.
This is between us. Yeah, Nikki, come on.
I mean,
let's keep some things between friends. Not at all. So I have the specific text that I want, which is refer to note, but then which note number do I want to include? Well, you can actually close your text and then include this, they call it the ampersand, or as I like to call it, the fancy and. you can include that, which then allows you to go ahead and choose the cell that you want to refer to. So for example, I'm dealing with 16 in this case. So I'm going to go ahead and click on 16. And once I press enter, it automatically just knows what to do. But what happens if, you accidentally delete this row, you remove this row, it refers to something else at a certain point, but you've now sort of tied it to that row. Well, there's also a second option. I'm just going to copy this because I'm all about the shortcuts. And I'll remove the cell reference instead. It won't allow you to save the formula in that way. So I'm going to go ahead and just go to my note number. When you go to the note number, you'll see there's actually a little reference that is included here. I'll copy this reference. This is called the named range. The named range is basically like an address in the financials for specific things. So if you're looking for something specific and you know the named range, you can type in the named range and it will take you there. So in this instance, I have the note number named range for other expenses. If I then go ahead and include that instead of the cell number, I'll go ahead and include it, and then you'll see it automatically updates. So whatever happens to the cell itself, it will not impact on my reference unless there's something that happens to the actual named range, which is a bit trickier to do, but you can also get rid of it. I'll show you those in just 1 second. So I've shown you the after sum. So now Mr. Coffee should be happy, right? Like I said.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. I was saying I think he's gonna like it.
Awesome. No, okay, cool.
I think we're going to I'll sell some coffee cake today.
Okay, so now that I've attended to Nikki's review notes, oh wait, sorry. Now let me actually attend to Nikki's review notes. That was just the additional client request. There's still review notes to address. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to the note. What did you call it, Nikki? If I go Control-Shift-D, I'm looking for, what was it called? How?
It was how to.
Oh, there it is. How to continue a note header. All right.
So that Control-Shift-D means I can go and search for any particular note that I'm looking for, and it jumped you straight there. Oh, wow.
Exactly. So that's how I arrived at my Note 15. It's exactly how I can go to my Note 12 or anywhere else I want to navigate in the financials. Control-Shift-D is the answer. So I'm here now. Well, let me just give this a quick squiz to see what's actually going on here. Okay.
Yeah, so Pims, what he's like wanting is, that line, the details with table A info. He wants it to be on the page where we've got, 10, 11, 12 pulling through. So it hasn't got that continuity. English is escaping me. But I want those on the page. I mean Mr. Kofi.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's a bit tricky. I can just copy paste. No, wait. I remember. This was a trick question, wasn't it? There's actually an easier way than copying and pasting to actually insert the information. So how we would go about doing this is, let's just turn off the live preview for a second. As I have introduced you to the named ranges, I'm going to introduce you to how you can create your own. So where is that? Is it under design? Nope, we don't design named ranges there. We actually go to the developer tab where you will find the create named range option. Once you are here, you will go ahead and you'll go ahead and create a name range.
So I've already created a few others scattered throughout the file. The last one I used for one of the other tables Mr. Kofi wanted was table 6. So just make sure you don't duplicate that name for me, hey?
No, because then that will cause a lot of havoc throughout the financials. So, all right, let me go with table 7 then. I've typed that up. Let me just copy and paste that in there. So I'm going to name this name range table 7 repeat header. The repeat header is basically the instruction that helps the information to then replicate over and over the pages. So once I've actually entered that, repeat header is what the description should be. Table 7 is my unique, the unique named range code, if you like. I'm going to press OK on that. And now you see I have a named range for my table 7. So what more do I need to do? Well, you still need to tell Draftworx exactly what are you referring to. So you have a header, but what about the body? Well, the body is what follows your header. As with normal human beings, you will have the body, which is everything below your header. So from the 1725 row all the way to the end of my table, I'm going to name this table 7 so that Draftworx knows exactly what I'm referring to when I talk about repeating that information, right? I'm going to go ahead and create this name range, and you'll see that it is now there. But what happens if I scroll down? I no longer see my name range because it only picks up where you input it. So you do need to be exactly where you're working with it. But say, for example, you forget, you don't know exactly how far or where you started your name range, you can always search, like I said. So table 7, enter, and then it shows you exactly what you're referring to. So what's the point of this? What does this even do? Well, like I said, it is for the purposes of moving the details, the table info, those headings onto the next page where my page break has been inserted. I'm going to go ahead and show you the live preview now and just scroll down to my table and you'll see we have the headings duplicating right there.
You absolute legend. I think he's gonna, we're definitely getting some coffee cake a bit later.
Of course, but it's not me, it's Draftworx. That's the legendary part of it all. So there's one more trick I just want to show us whilst we're still looking at this little table here. If you then go ahead and go to your keyboard, put in input Control Shift R, you can then search the ribbon. What's on the ribbon that I want? AutoSum. Instead of me going up there to go find it, say I'm sitting in the developer tab, I don't have to go and scroll all the way to the format tab. I can just simply search for it with Control Shift R. Obviously, these things are in the back of my head now, but the more you use the system, the more you'll be familiar with all these functions. And don't feel any pressure. There is no rush to learn. We're more than happy for you to learn at your own pace. But yeah, this is what's available to you once you become a master yourself. So you'll see it auto sums this row for me, just from me searching that. There is another cool little trick I wanted to show us. I'm gonna go ahead and see where can I add this for you. So I'm gonna go to see all the scrolling. This is what you avoid when you get to use the shortcuts. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this section here, which is free for me to use. Say for example, you wanted to create a formula. And you've noted that every time I'm trying to create a formula, nothing comes up. Why does it not complete the sentences? You guys said this is like Excel. Why do you keep deceiving us? There is no deception here. You can actually set it so that the formulas do auto-populate when you start typing. So for example, if I want to insert F's name, it pops up for me, provides me with all the F's formulas. I can go ahead and select the one I'm looking for. F's name. Oh, awesome. But say you actually want.
Oh, this is such a cool thing. So it's going to auto-complete my formula.
Exactly. But
it's going to save me the time with my spelling errors.
Yes, exactly. No, we did cry a lot about how we're terrible at spelling, and the developers were like, "Got you, bro. Hold my beer." No, they didn't say that. We were at work. They never said that. But so another cool feature I want to just take you guys through. It's a little complicated, so please don't feel any compulsion to actually go apply this. This is just so you know you can do it. And if you do need further guidance on how to do this in the future, remember we're available to guide you in remote support. So I'm going to create a formula. I'm not going to go into detail explaining exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. It is quite complicated, but I'm going to go ahead and insert a formula. And this formula basically will help to change the formatting of the wording. So I'm going to show you an example quick. I say company. Like I said, it's a little tricky, and I just need to remember exactly what I need to input here. Apps, yeah, and then I'll close it. Yeah. Okay, hopefully I got that right. Okay, invalid formula. It does not agree with what I'm typing, so I'm going to try that again.
Can we just copy that formula from that other file that you showed me the same?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Thanks.
So there's quite a few formulas available, some for different things you want to do. So I'm going to show you exactly what these formulas do when I preview. You can actually use these to bolden your your wording, put italics, underline, etc. So instead of using other functions, you can use these as a little bit of a cheat. So you'll see the formulas quite tricky. We will definitely provide them to you if you ever do need them. I will just like to show you a preview of what exactly did I just do. So the first formula, you'll see underlines my company. The second one, it boldens my company. And the third one was supposed to be italics, but clearly I didn't change the formula. I just pasted it again. Okay, so it updates and there it is in italics. Basically, a quick trick. I like tricks. I thought I'd show you. Please do not feel compelled by any of this. It's completely optional. There is one important thing though that I did want to take you through. It is I think Nicole, you mentioned it, or
which one?
Okay, so
the income statement.
It's the income statement.
Yes.
So remember we talked about the income statement having multiple income statements for multiple income streams.
Mr. Kofi's asked if we can show the milk sales and the milk purchases on two different income statements.
Shit, no problemo. So I can just select the income statement that I want to use. You'll see you will have up to 5 income statements available. You can actually increase this number if you are a manager. They will be available for you to increase. I have a manager password as I have received a significant promotion, and I am able to then access additional detailed income statements just by increasing them here. So that's where you would increase your detailed income statements. But then where do they show? Again, content tab. Gonna go ahead and activate the different income statements. So we'll see that based on my selection so this is the main detailed income statement, which includes everything. You can turn that off when you're displaying the separated ones, which will start from 1 onwards. So the first one is for the coffee. The second one will then be for my milk. You'll see that I can specifically show the client how much we're making in the milk department, how much we're making in the coffee department, etc., etc. You can actually add up to, I think, 99 in detailed income statements. I don't know why, but
99.
Yeah. But if you do, at least adding it will not be one of your problems, even if you do have 99 of them. Well, that is it on my side. I am gonna hand over to the brewmaster to finish off with more cool features for you. But thank you again for your time. My feet are up already, so I'm not gonna say any more.
For me, you legend, you. I can see I've got my new detailed income statements in. I've had a look at all your changes. They're looking fabulous. Thank you. Now we can just finish up with a few other things. Guys, we haven't got too much long to go. I just want to show you a few more little tips and tricks. So we are almost there. Okay. So now I have an instance where I'm in an accounting firm and I need to create a spreadsheet. Let's say I want to make my own fixed asset schedule. So I want to kind of just go through these little folders over here. So let me import a spreadsheet. So in Office Tools, you can see that there's a whole lot of little in-app functions we can use. I am going to go for a spreadsheet. I'm going to create a new one. And you know what? I would then be able to go and, I don't know, set this up to being a fixed asset schedule. Cool. I can then go and save this. So when you use this, you're going to save it by giving it a name. So Nicole, and where do I want this saved? I want it saved in my working papers. So yes, I'm going to go and save those. And then it would go and save that for me. Okay. Now, all right, I've got that. Now I want to show off something. So, shame. I unfortunately, when I switched that PPE note, lost all of Kumi's work. So I want to show a little bit of a shortcut. Now, I have the ability, he's shown us named ranges. I'm going to show us smart documents. Now, I've got his asset register over here. Okay, and I see I've got the additions value. So I actually want to link the two to each other. In other words, I want to pull that additions here without me manually pulling it in. So what am I going to do? I am going to create a smart source. So I go to the 85,000 total. I am going to go to design, and I'm going to create a smart doc range. And I'm going to go and call it MV add. Now, I'm going to select roll forward. This simply means that next year, I do not have to create this smart doc source again. It will roll forward to next year for me. So I want it there because I'm going to continue using this asset register. Okay, you can see now it has a name to that cell. How is it going to affect my financials? Well, let me go and sort that out. I'm going to select the cell, again, design, select smart doc. There's my little smart doc range. Okay, I can see it. I select it. It's pulled in my 85. You know what? I just realized that wasn't supposed to be 85. We hadn't updated it. It was actually supposed to be 60. And it updates the note. So I'm able to go and create the link there. Okay. I'm just having a look at all the sheets here. Okay, I've got my confidential. I've got my tax calc. Okay. How do I bring in a sheet? All right, maybe I need to add this confidential sheet because it's not a standard Draftworx one. So here in your format, you can insert and you can go and insert a sheet. So I'll just quickly add a new one and you can go and name it. Let's just say an extra A, for example. And there I was able to now import a sheet into my file. Also, for anyone that is interested, you are able to also create your own working paper. Now, I can go and create a working paper. Pumi went and did some really hard work in terms of my journals, and I actually just want to create something that I can review from there. So I'm going to go create a working paper, call it journals. Let's go and save it in the working papers. And now you see I have a Draftworx looking working paper. I'm going to give this a journal heading, so journal review. Now for the kicker, I can go mark this as prepared, reviewed, partner reviewed, and that's how I am able to obviously sign off certain documents. But again, we like shortcuts. I don't want to have to go retype the journals that Mpumelelo has gone and done. So sure, there's a shortcut somewhere that I saw. Template tools. I can see I've got a journals option here, and I'm simply going to say journal link. Now I can see the list of all our journals. So I am able to go and select a respective journal, and it will add to my working paper. All right, let's just cover a lot of our print previews because our file is pretty much ready to go for dear Mr. Kofi. So just want to run through some of the print previews. Okay, we can take this draft watermark off. we're going to give it to him. So I'm going to just deactivate that. Okay, having a look. There was that one note we wanted to check. For me, weren't the table headings colored? And I know Mr. Kofi likes to show those colorings.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I forgot there was something you told me about the settings and I completely forgot to turn it on.
No stress. Okay. I was just thinking, was it this note that we needed to show the color? Okay.
Definitely.
So if you all remember, the table heading had some colors to it. Now I need that to show. How am I going to get that right? Well, in your all section, there's a miscellaneous option. And I see something here that says clear cell background and it's ticked. So in other words, it's making sure none of the highlighted cells pull through the color, but I want those colors. So I'm actually going to tell it, do not clear those backgrounds. See what it does. Now I'm going to go and have a look at my, oh dear. Uh-oh. For me, I'm showing all the color for the input cells. What am I going to do?
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We can ignore the system colors. In other words, I can ignore all of Draftworx's colors, but focus on my note colors. So again, all miscellaneous, I can see that I've got an option called ignore system colors. Let me ignore them. Let me go and see. Oh, thank goodness, that's gone. Let's check his note. Yay, we've got those colors back. I am super happy. All right. Now in my notes, I can see, okay, the note numbers are included in my margin. Well, not in the margin, sorry, in the note itself. He wants them included in the margin. So in your notes tab, there's a few settings here that you can get to your preferred view. If you do like the numbers as disclosed here, it is called note numbers, note number position, prepend to note. If I say original, it is going to move it into my margin. All right. Now, another one we normally get is, what is this omit loan subnote numbers? Well, in the event that I have, let's go and see, I've got my issued capital and I see my finance lease. It goes 8, 8.1, 8.2. I'm happy to see the 8.1 and 8.2 because there's more than one subnote printing. But if I would like it to show where I have just issued capital and not just 7.1 because it's a standalone, I have activated that omit. Because if I don't, it will then just go and have everything going 4.1, even if there was only one. So now I don't want that view of 7.1. I just go and omit it. Okay, throughout my case and Pumi's, we actually haven't really been saving the financials ourselves. So if you have ever been traumatized by Excel and you had to do that save, there is a little floppy disk there. You can save yourself, but you can also be rest assured that if you close your financials with the X, there will be a confirm save option. I can then go say yes. Oh yeah, what happens if I'm having a really bad day? And I realized that I actually said no. In Tuesday's session, we did mention that we have an auto save interval. So auto saves. So you'll see that we do have auto saved documents. And if I go look at my financial statements, you can be rest assured I've got some auto save to recover from. These are done at 15-minute intervals in my instance. So the most work I would have lost was 45 minutes and not 8 hours if I was having a really bad day. So yes, we are able to restore those for you. I want to just quickly check. Mr. Kofi asked me for a few documents. So in the reports, there's that checklist. Let's have a look how Pumi is done with his checklist. I can now go and see, all right, perform opening balance test, Oh, me. Did you not do it?
Nikki, did I not do it?
Did you forget to tell me that you did it? It's just incomplete. But
I
I can see
completely
that,
forgot.
was it a forget? So you have done it. I can trust you on that one, right? I got my
Yes,
eye on you.
yes.
Okay.
I just need to update that. Sorry.
Nah, it's all good. It's good. Look, I'm happy with how the file's looking. I'm sure Mr. Kofi's going to give us some generous cake just now. All right, so I can go to my reports. So when you do have your checklist, you can pull the report. You can see another one that we just want to highlight in your client folder. There are certain file accesses, so you can go and view these. The client is you yourself. The financial data, however, Mr. Kofi asked me for a very specific looking trial balance in PDF. For me, you know that he wants them not separated, sorted in accordance with the links so he can match it to the financials. I mean, we've given him the leads,
Yep.
now he wants to match it. So I've got that for him. I'm going to send him the trial balance, and it's called Final Trial Balance by Link. So here, I'm now able to go and see what makes up those items on the balance sheet for an easy check. So let's just go back down to repairs and maintenance. I can see, okay, for me, well done. You did include all the correct repairs and maintenance to the expense account. It is tying up to what we need. Great stuff. We can then go and save that as a PDF and send it to Mr. Kofi. Last document he needed from you was, I know he said he was going to give us a director certificate, Pums. So I just need to update that.
Oh no.
Pummy, where are my director certificates?
No, I thought he said he would send us a director certificate. I didn't realize we needed to update the one we have. I deleted it.
You deleted it?
Yeah,
Pummy.
it's gone. It's gone. I'm so sorry. Can we just import it again?
Okay. Well, actually, you could, but you know what? Here's another new feature that we have you covered with. So, thankfully, because I ain't got time to go find the correct director certificate. Where was that? Let me just refresh my memory. So, in the Draftworx logo, I don't know if anyone's noticed this lovely little recycle bin icon. Let's see what's in my recycle bin. Okay, we got it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, so there I've got my director certificate. I can see that it has been deleted. Sorry, Plums. But at least it's there. Now, how do I recover it? So before I recover it, I do just want to show you that there is also a report for, I just need to remember where it is, in your file access. You can pull a recycle bin report. So it will tell you who deleted what. So for me, I got my eye on you.
Oh my goodness. Draftworx is snitching.
Snitches get stitches. Well, at least we're getting cake later, so it's okay. So recycle bin, guys. I'm going to go restore it. Please note there is a 30-day, what would you call, time limit to it. So if it does miss over those 30 days, we can't recover it. You will have to check with our phenomenal support team as a better way to do a recovery. Hopefully not too much damage has been done. So I'm going to go and recover that selected document. Am I sure? Yeah, I am. Let's go see. Hallelujah, it's back. Okay, so we can quickly set that up and send it to Mr. Kofi. All right, guys. Now, what are we going to cover? So, Mr. Kofi is giving me yet another curveball. He wants us to do his management accounts for the next month, okay? But he wants us to set it up. So, of course, what have we been focusing on in this webinar series? We've been doing his 2026 financial. I need 2027. How am I going to get that? Alrighty. So I am in my file. So you have to be in that client file that you want to roll forward. And in client setup, you will see two options. Balance sheet roll forward is more for our monthly management packs. I am going to explain the year-end close. So please, if you aren't sure which option best suits you, just check in with our support team. So year-end close, am I sure I want to do this? Yep, let's do it. Okay, I now have roll forward options. What are these? Well, Draftworx goes and pre-selects what we think is best, but you are able to pick and choose what would suit you and your firm on a better level. So I desperately need the financials to look exactly like 26s. Pumi's done a lot of hard work in getting those customs right. So I want a replica, but I want to make sure I can use 2027's figures. So copy current financial statements is the way to go. If I say copy new, that means we are going to have to redo everything that Pumi has just done again for 27. And what are we about? We are about saving us some time. So copy current. If I say clear non-template financial statements, anything that I have imported and saved in that financial data, like the audit report, and I don't want it included in the following year, I can say clear, and it will not roll it over. Move current notes to prior. I want you all to remember the changes we made on the cash flow, update default reports. I'll explain in a second. Framework, we're keeping it the same. However, remember, you can switch. So if Mr. Kofi needed to upgrade to full IFRS, I would be able to do this on roll forward. However, err on the side of caution. If you switch your framework, you will end up with a completely new template. So any custom changes will be overwritten and you will have to redo that in the new template. So that's not what I want to do. I'm going to go next. Now we look at disclosure updates. So remember, we like to maintain our templates. So if there is any new disclosure, whether it is a tax change, something that needs to be included in the director's report, or anything that's a legislated change, we will then add it to the template where you are able to go and insert that disclosure update. We will not replace all your work. We are simply just going to insert it to where it would go. So you won't lose the work if you have gone and added something in. Please be rest assured. I'm going to go next. When I say update default reports, all the ones that are ticked, they are the ones governed by the standards. So I always want to make sure I have the most recent up-to-date version, okay? So I'm going to keep those ticked to make sure they're up-to-date. But we've done a lot of hard work on the director's report, the accounting policies. They are going to stay the same. So unticked leaves it exactly like it is. Next, I am going to roll forward my fixed asset register, okay? Everything else I'm not too worried about, so I'm going to go and finish. Okay, normally we can quickly go have a sneaky cup of coffee because this is just going to basically create me my new tax year. And let's just have a quick brief look. I am definitely in 2027. I can be rest assured that all my client setup information is still there. Yep. So don't have to repeat this process. Trial balance, all still there, set up to exactly how we had set up 2026's. And let me jump into my financial statements and let's just go see if everything still looks the same. There's my confidential report, still in, still edited. My detailed income statements have increased. Let's just go check that note that is inputted. So I had a question. That repairs and maintenance note, you can see that I don't have to go and repeat that. Where was the cash flow? Where Pumi did all those changes for us, they have moved to the prior year, making sure your prior year does match your signed off financial statements. And then lastly, guys.
Nikki, do you still have the fixed asset register?
Yep. Sorry, there it is. Still there.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Oh,
yeah.
And the tagging is still there. Oh, that is amazing.
And there's that smart source where we had the motor vehicle additions. So I can go and just use that smart source again in the note when we do 2027. Sweet.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, all good. Last point of cover is, there is always that one case where we get consolidation. So I'm briefly just going to explain a consolidation, guys, and then we are literally at the end. So consolidation. Now I have I've got my hot chocolate company here. I need to consolidate our brew co. Okay. Is it this one? Oh, no, sorry, just the Coffee King. Sorry, that was one of his subsidiaries. The Coffee King company is my consolidation set of financial statements I need to do. This is a new consolidation. So how am I going to get all my holding and subsidiary files without having to do too much undue cost and effort in terms of work? So when you are doing consolidation files, okay, you will need to make sure that it is a consoli framework. I see mine is not, so I am going to just quickly create a new one. So apologies, guys. That's what happens when we choose the wrong framework. Otherwise, we are not going to get our desired effect. So I need an IFRS SME consoli. That is going to give me the 4 columns showing company as well as the okay. Oh, seems like a lot of work. We've got Bruco, I have macchiato, I've got cappuccino. Oh, how am I going to do this? Well, in my financial data, in my working trial balance, I saw this button earlier, and it is called consolidate. Okay, so if I select consolidate, it is going to ask me which companies form part of this consolidation. So we are going to go with our Bruco. Okay, here's the holding company. Cappuccino was our subsidiary 1, and Mochaccino is subsidiary 2. Okay, so I'm allocating what their company structure is. The contribution is not relative to what the company shareholding is. It's it's your holding percentage. So these are all 100%. All right, I'm going to keep it at 100%. I'm then going to say consolidate, and I am able to go include prior years if I would like to. It just depends on what actually the consolidation would be. So I'm going to include my prior year, and I'm going to go consolidate those files. Cool. I now have Bruco, which is indicating that it's my holding. I've got Cappuccino, my subsidiary. And what else am I noticing? Everything is linked and mapped, matching back to those subsidiary files and holding files. If we open the consolidation template, I will be able to view my respective columns. And that is one of the basic consolidation functions we have. Last thing to show off, I know we did show it off on Tuesday, but just in case anyone missed it, we keep mentioning an incredible support team. How do we get a hold of our support team? None other than our little logo at the top here. You can send a support request. This will send the file in, or let's go and chat to them on remote support. I have an urgent issue. I need to quickly be assisted. So I'm going to hop on. And this little chat box is going to come on. You can see we are open 8 to 5, Mondays to Fridays, Central African time. My session code should populate. If it doesn't, I would then be able to obviously go ahead and call support to help me. But let's go ahead and we're going to go Mr. Kofi. We're going to enter his name and I'm going to chat. And I'm just going to quickly send him. Okay, I can chat to them with whatever it may be, and you will be able to see it's been sent. And then it will be read. And I can assure you any of the responses you get, they are not AI. They are human beings on the other side. Really awesome ones too, with very fast fingers and little shortcuts. Just going to cancel. I don't need them to join today.
Hey, Nikki.
Yeah, what's up?
What if my IT is like very pedantic and they hate TeamViewer and AnyDisk and things like that? How can I get help from you guys on my computer?
Okay, so I know that we do have instances where TeamViewer is a very restricted application on individuals' computers. So by all means, you are happily able to reach out to us at support@draftworx.com. There'll be an email. We can provide you with alternative solutions to assisting you. And they are absolutely awesome. They are super friendly. We love them. They love helping you guys. So please, if you do ever experience anything, whether it's a technical difficulty or just an alignment issue, hop on, chat to them. They're there for you guys. Awesome. And that,
just
actually, yes.
One more thing from my side. Just the audit report. We showed how to import one from our auditors, but I don't think we necessarily covered how to edit one. If maybe there's a qualification or disclaimer, or how do we go about that?
Okay, so are we looking at like we don't want to, well, we've got the standard one, but I need to go and edit this to suit my audit responses and all of that. Is that what we're talking about? All right.
Yep.
Okay. So depending on your opinion, okay, if you've got qualified, adverse, any of those, you are able to go and select, don't know where I was trying to speak, you'll go and select the respective opinion. You are able to edit, and you can see, guys, I'm not logged in, which means I cannot just edit easily. I can either go edit the blue cells to give the required solution. I am able to go and just change what I need to. So depending on how you need that audit report displayed, you are able to go and edit these cells, select the respective opinion that you are required to report on. If, in my case, I've accidentally typed in basis opinion, don't forget you do have template tools where you can just refresh where I might have accidentally typed over the wrong cell. I meant to go to basis for qualified. I can go and type anywhere over here. You can see I just need to go choose the respective opinion or key audit matters or anything to that. Okay. Did that help address the question raised?
Yeah, Bonga. Thank you.
Okay, great. And guys, like I say, that pretty much brings me to the end of the session. Just want to say a massive thank you to everybody today. Thanks for putting up with me and I for the last 2 days. I think we can turn our cameras to us. I'm really looking forward to that cake. You're on mute, Prince.
Like Nikki said, thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for bearing with us, especially when we had those technical difficulties. I hope Cashflow doesn't ruin your situations as it did ours. And I hope you have a great time drafting. And if you do have any trouble, please remember we are here to assist. Remote support is your friend.
And also, guys, please don't forget, remember, we are recording. We'll be on YouTube soon. So you can catch up on those entertainment. Yeah, for me, it's on YouTube, buddy. You're going to be, stuck on that. Just want to quickly share one little image with everybody. Just 1 second. So also, please don't forget, we have got our contacts over there. You are able to just reach out if you need to. And then there was one other thing I wanted to remind everybody. Oh yeah, don't forget, guys, we have our cloud webinars next week, Tuesday and Thursday. And I can assure you they are going to be phenomenal. After that, if you are still interested in some really key Draftworx functionalities, we do have our XBRL and our working papers, as well as our audit working papers webinars still to come. Please, if they are interesting to you, if you need any, tips and tricks regarding those topics, join us and I can assure you we have you covered. Even if you just want CPD points. Just saying. But mostly because we've got some really cool tips and tricks, guys. All right, here comes Mr. Kofield. He's super chuffed with those financials. So we are definitely in for a treat with that coffee cake, eh?
Perfect.
So yeah, I mean, wait, we did those financials in 2 days?
Yeah, imagine. How could you have gotten that done anywhere else?
Fantastic. Thanks for all your hard work.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, everybody, thank you very much for joining us today. We are going to be on our merry way. I'm really looking for that coffee cake. And so have a lovely day and have a great weekend, everyone. Happy Friday.